welcome to the Brandtastic Diaries. I am Tanvi Bhatt and thank you so much for joining us once again on this show. On today's show of the Brandtastic Diaries, we are going to be celebrating a brand who has been instrumental in empowering millions of lives to build their brand and brand their stories. None other than the branded himself, Walter Akana. Well, Walter has been a career and life strategist and a REACH certified personal brand strategist for the longest time now. Walter brings to the table his unique blend of experience in training, coaching, combined with the powerful REACH personal branding methodology and online identity management system to empower his clients to truly stand out. What he also believes in is helping each individual realize that it is your life and you must own it. Please join me in welcoming and celebrating the brand Walter Akana. Hello Walter, thank you for joining us today on the Brandtastic Diaries, and it's an absolute honor to have you on today's show. So, tell me something Walter, what is it that you do at Threshold Consulting apart from branding the future icons?
Hi, Tanvi. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be your guest on the Brandtastic Diaries. My company is Threshold Consulting LLC, and it's a company I started 10 years ago, basically as a career consulting company. And my idea at that time was to attract individuals and help them with their careers, with everything from job search and resumes to coaching for more success in their current companies and moving ahead. And along the way, I became certified as a REACH personal branding strategist. And that really changed the nature of what I do, because I learned that there is so much more that people can achieve in their careers if they are very, very clear about their personal brand. So I get to spend a lot of time coaching clients, but I also do a fair amount of writing. I write at 2 different blogs I have of my own, and I'm also a contributor from time to time at William Arruda's personal branding blog for REACH. So I get to actually do a lot of stuff that I really, really love to do, and that's great. So I still have to do some stuff that I really don't like to do, like QuickBooks and stuff, but most of my days are pretty energizing because I do work I really love. So thank you for asking.
Wow, that's really interesting. Tell me, how has your experience been as a REACH certified strategist, and how has that changed your life?
Wow, there is so much that's happened on my journey as a REACH strategist from the time I was first certifying and since the time I've been certified. But if I had to boil it down into one thing, it would be the power of authenticity. And what I mean by that is the personal branding process helps everyone, including myself, uncover their vision, their sense of purpose, their values, and their passions, and to see how those drive the value that they create for others and the difference that they make in the world. I think since developing my own first personal brand, and certainly in my work with clients, I see that this great personal clarity actually leads to more success in our careers and a higher quality of life. I think that the personal clarity just creates so much more enjoyment around everything we do, and I think that's probably been the most significant and life-changing thing that's happened to me in the process of becoming and being a REACH strategist.
So who gets the privilege of being brand Walter's focus? What kind of individuals do you enjoy working with, and how do you add exclusive value to them?
Okay, that's a good question. And actually, I have to answer that by saying that I do work in 2 ways. Number one, I do a fair amount of work as a contractor. In fact, I've been fortunate to be on a couple of projects with William Arruda where the focus has been on helping leaders internally develop their personal brands, both to provide a better quality of leadership, but also to be more successful in winning business and influencing others and so on and so forth. So that work is pretty rewarding because people begin to discover that, hey, they do have a personal brand, they do have a unique promise of value, and when they can use those to lead others, to influence customers, to win business, that their lives are better, and in fact that they can make a more relevant difference for the people that they serve. The other area of work or the other client base that I serve are individuals who are either professionals or executives who are kind of at mid-career and really trying to figure out what's the next step. So they've kind of reached the point where they have to step back, reevaluate, and figure out what are they going to do with the rest of their careers. And it's really an ideal time for the personal branding process because it helps them reevaluate things like the value they provide, the joy that they experience in their work, and then to figure out how their vision, their purpose, their values, their passions, and all of that support what their next step is going to be. I find that work pretty rewarding because, again, it's a matter of personal clarity that people begin to feel like they have more control of their careers, they have more control of their lives, and in the end, make choices that make them happier overall. So it's pretty satisfying work.
I'm sure that message has reached the right ears, Walter. Moving on, tell me what has been the biggest challenge or the turning point of your brand story, and today when you look back, why are you totally gracious for it?
You know, Tommy, that's a great question. And in fact, I have a pretty unique answer to that. Probably the biggest thing that has changed for me in my time of being a reach strategist, and the biggest thing that's affected my brand story is the whole idea that everyone has a story. And so let me explain. A couple of years ago, I worked with a colleague on some webinars. And one of the things that we realized was the webinars were basically about online identity. And one of the things that we realized was that people are more memorable when they share their stories than they are when they share a set of facts. So we did some research and we came up with a process to help people uncover their stories and to be able to tell them online. And what we realized was that when people have a very clear value that they are delivering, it helps to provide context for that value to the people they serve. And one of the ways to do that is to tell their story. So I kind of believe now that everyone who is working on their personal brand also needs to work on or figure out or uncover what their story is. And this has been really a turning point in my career because I now find that I use this all the time.
Wow, that's truly inspiring, Walter. But what I really want to know is what inspires you and your brand performance.
You know, I find from day to day so many things happen in my work that are really inspiring. In fact, when people tell you their story and when they finally have that aha, that's pretty inspiring in and of itself. But I think to step back and to give you a more general answer to that, I think what really inspires me is knowing that my work, the tools I use, the process I follow, and the impact that it has on my clients is something that makes a difference for them in their lives, and that by making a difference for them, it's something that they then can turn around and use to make a difference for other people. So I find that really pretty inspiring. I also find it inspiring that people are able to take this process and to make better choices about their careers and also to make better choices about their lives. So I think it's fabulous work, and I feel pretty blessed to be able to actually have become a strategist and to do this work.
Well, this is my favorite question. Please share your brandtastic words of wisdom with us. What is your brandtastic wow for our audience?
Yeah, Brandtastic wow. Well, I actually want to leave you with a big wow, and it's this. You know, for a long time, we in personal branding emphasized online identity, and we used to say if you don't show up on Google, you don't exist. Well, it's not so hard these days to have Google results. In fact, if you have a LinkedIn profile, chances are, and if it's complete, chances are you're going to have a Google result. What I'm realizing today is that relevance is what really matters, and relevance comes from context. So what I say nowadays is not just if you don't show up on Google, you don't exist. I say if you don't show up with a story, do you really matter? And that's kind of a big wow because I'm really challenging people to figure out what their story is and to use it to provide the context for the value that they provide. So that's it. That's my wow. In any event, I really appreciate this opportunity to be your guest, and I hope that this turns out to be a good interview and that people enjoy it. Anyway, thank you so much. Take care. Walter Akana signing off from Decatur, Georgia. Take care, Tanvi. Bye.
Well, thank you, Walter. Thank you so much for being a part of the Brandtastic Diaries and allowing us pleasure of knowing, experiencing and celebrating the brand Walter Akana. Thank you once again and goodbye.